So, enough about Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! You guys did a really great job describing the meta. I've got more Twitter bookmarks for you guys real quick that I want to bring up here. So I got two here. This one I was telling Ezekiel about earlier. It's this whole rabbit hole and stuff. So, I don't know if I can go to the start of the thread here. Yeah, it's a rabbit hole. And I promise you I'll loop this back to Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! But, in case you can't see it, Austin, basically he's saying, he quote retweets this where a guy said, yeah, he can't stop thinking about this drawing of the rock. So it's like this little anime drawing of the rock.
Yeah.
And it's at WF, so it's like, and then this guy goes on this huge rabbit hole about it. He's asked if the artist has ever been identified. He's guessing it was made in 2002 at the latest because it's still WWF, not WWE, right? So already you're seeing you're seeing the detective work, the Sherlock Holmes backtracking, zooming in hands and stuff. He's guessing it's an actual artist from Japan or an unknown American artist with a better grasp of manga aesthetics than every single American artist of the time. And then he kind of explains himself, right? Because okay, listen, maybe nowadays in 2022, there's tons of American artists that draw this, but he's 2002? No, the only anime people knew about was Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
Unless you were really, really into it. And then he's it's not just the drawing, he's talking about the lettering too, right? This isn't just Japanese characters. These are Japanese characters that are stylized, right?
Yeah.
It's something that would have been done by a native person and stuff, right? And then he's talking about no guys, listen, it's not just the lettering, it's not just that, right? This is what we were learning how to draw, right? This is the Western how people drew back then and stuff. He's this is a professional. He's convinced.
Shading.
Yeah. And then he's more, he's obviously you don't have to be Japanese to produce artwork and learning that, but in 2002, super rare to come across North American artists like that could replicate this aesthetic, right? He's talking about more modern examples in 2022, right? You see this all the time now and stuff with Castlevania and this stuff and everything, but he's 2002? No. He's
yeah.
This is a Japanese man. And then eventually they identify who probably drew it. Because this person, quote, retweets, he talks about this YouTube video they're watching where a person is just looking for lost 90s anime and they're documenting through it. And when they went to Comic in Japan, they got this CD. You remember CDs, the circular donuts that you put in computers? They talk about how 16 minutes into this random CD video that just talks about old comic books and stuff, that there's a screenshot here on the left of this drawing of what looks pretty similar to the Rock there, right? He's got the same glasses, the same haircut and stuff. They're I think whoever drew this probably drew this. So now they're finding okay, but who drew it, right? So they keep going down the rabbit hole. He's I want to know who drew this picture. He's I need to know. So they keep going. And they don't identify the artist yet. They identify the circle, so the team, the production staff, or whatever, right? The group. It's this pro wrestling circle that draws a bunch of comic books of professional wrestling. Oddly enough, if you can believe it. And then as they go on, he finally found the exact artist. This guy talks about it's a pro that's been working in the anime industry for years and stuff. But then he corrects himself. It wasn't him. It was this guy's friend, because this guy then later confirms, oh yeah, I used to draw with this guy all the time and stuff, and we would go to wrestling shows together in the US and stuff. So that after all that, they finally find it, they end the rabbit hole and stuff. Why am I talking about this? Is a Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh podcast, because I just thought it was really cool that these two things you never think are related, right? Wrestling and anime and stuff. They're just two big fans. It's I really loved wrestling. My friend loved wrestling, so he would draw Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in anime form.
There you go.
Yeah, and I think about how, with Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff and Pokemon, we like to clown. It's those Pokemon players or those Yu-Gi-Oh! Players or those, card game players of this thing that I don't play, right? But, yeah, then we're all just nerds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like your sibling, I feel like.
Yeah.
I can make fun of them. But somebody outside the community,
it's how dare
no.
Yeah.
How
dare you?
Yeah.
If someone if a non-card game player started to be oh well, Yu-Gi-Oh's just like Pokemon, right? You're how dare you?
Yeah. Or if like a like a non-card player was like like, oh, like Yu-Gi-Oh, like the card game sucks because like all this stuff, I'd be like, whoa, hold up. Like, you don't even play card games. How do you know?
I think it's similar when like you like tell me like, oh, isn't Yu-Gi-Oh just like sewing a bunch of design? I know it's kind of like tongue in cheek and stuff, right? But then like there's like some basis, right? You're at least like talking about the mechanics and stuff, right? A lot of times I'll try to my coworkers and they'll be like, well, that just sounds like it's all luck, right? And I'm just like, I'm like, well, if you're gonna say that's like luck, that's like poker's like luck. It's like, no, poker's skill. I'm like, so you agree? Yeah, poker's skill. And Yu-Gi-Oh skill. It's like, no, Yu-Gi-Oh's luck. I'm like, I'm like, just, oh my gosh, I get fuming, man.
Human.
That's alright. At least
Like,
we're not those
comment.
dirty
Whoa,
Magic the
I
Gathering
love
players.
Magic. I love Magic, man. I love summoning Sheldred.